What's going on, everyone? Hope you're all having an incredible day. Welcome to my channel. This is about cryptocurrency, and I bring it from a trader's perspective. So if you like cryptocurrency news, you want to be in the now and informed, consider smashing the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Let's dive right in. Exciting stuff right now. Bitcoin's actually climbing. But before we jump into that, all currencies will be pegged to Bitcoin, says Price of Tomorrow author Jeff Booth. Entrepreneur and popular author Jeff Booth has predicted a grim future for fiat currencies, expecting them to fail as central banks keep printing money. Well, U.S. dollars lost 99% of its value, 98% of its purchasing power since its inception. So I consider that a failure, but I digress. Let's continue. Foreseeing an unavoidable severe depression and banking failure, he believes Bitcoin will become the world's reserve currency and all national currencies will be pegged to it. Highly likely Bitcoin will become the reserve currency. The author of The Price of Tomorrow, Why Deflation is the Key to an Abundant Future, Jeff Booth, has made the case that Bitcoin will become the world's reserve currency and all national currencies will eventually be pegged to Bitcoin. Booth published this book in January detailing why we are due for a financial reset and a new economic framework. The entrepreneur also co-founded Canadian-based technology company Build Direct, an online marketplace for home improvement products. Go from Bitcoin to Build Direct. All right. In an interview with Cambridge House International published last week, he discussed the current economic situation and why he is more bullish on Bitcoin than any other asset class. That's a bold statement right there. But I believe it to be true. But that's just like, if you're in the financial sector and you say Bitcoin's like the best thing we got, you were going to get laughed 2 years ago. Now it seems more believable because the government's basically have lost control. They're like madmen in control of a train, just running it off the tracks into hyperinflation. But let's continue. He began by explaining the consequences of what the Federal Reserve is doing right now. All of the printing is going directly into asset prices. Yes, it is. And it's being robbed from the greater economy. He described what's going to come next is MMT, helicopter money, and everything else. And once the Fed loses its credibility, then all bets are off in inflation. So the Treasury essentially will become the Fed and print money and can distribute that money to the population. And then you are going to lose currencies all over the world. Wow. Moreover, Booth predicts that the interest rates are going to continue to go down until currencies fail. That makes sense, emphasizing that central banks are artificially keeping interest rates low for the last 10 years. They've been basically at zero. The Federal Reserve recently pledged to keep interest rates near zero for several years. What's several more years after pretty much since 2008, after it announced a policy shift to push up inflation to preserve wealth in this environment. Booth diversifies and cautioned against putting all wealth in one asset class while having gold and Bitcoin in his investment portfolio. He added, I am much more bullish on Bitcoin for a variety of reasons. I think it could be the new gold. Bitcoin works on a network effect. It does. The popular author elaborated, Bitcoin should keep going up, and I think one day other currencies will be pegged to Bitcoin. I think it's highly likely that Bitcoin becomes the reserve currency. Wow. And he goes on to basically talk about that. But basically, sorry for the whole camera. Okay, so let's dive right in. So I've been saying this for a while. When I first got into Bitcoin back 2 years ago, 3 years ago, or whatever, to me it made just so much sense. Like, I had that epiphany moment, that aha moment, when I realized, okay, the Federal Reserve, the money system is broken in our country. You shouldn't have one entity with that much power. The ability to basically print the money, print what is considered a value in our country, a medium of exchange, and be able to give it to whoever they deem necessary. We know that there's corruption in the government. We know that there's corruption in the Federal Reserve. We know that there's corruption there because look at 2008, right? Like, that should not have happened, but it did. And now we're in a worse place, an actual worse place than we were. And he's talking about, like, basically the entire system unraveling. Helicopter money, you know what that is? That's basically, here you get free money because if we don't give you free money, right? So, like, if we don't give you free money, the entire system is going to implode. So basically, here's how it works. I'm going to break it down for you. Here's how it works. The Federal Reserve prints money, and they give it to one person. They print up $10 trillion or $1 trillion, however much money they want. And you know who they give it to? They don't give everyone $1 million. They theoretically could, but what that would do is that if they gave everyone $1 million, people ask this question, why don't they give everyone $1 million? Well, if they gave everyone $1 million, people would go out and buy TVs and Jordans and bread and everything, and that would drive up the prices of everyday stuff, and it would be absolute mayhem because you would be people quitting jobs. You would certain places wouldn't be able to find work. You'd have you would have wealth disparity. Really, I think the wealth would be dispersed again again, like there would be some people with a lot of money and there would be some people with no money, because let's get down to it. Poverty is really a lack of education and how to make money. That's really what it comes down to. So I digress with that. But what I see is that I see it not going good in the upcoming future. I do see helicopter money because they're going to have to give it to people, because just giving it to the government and having the government spend, having the government buy up assets and all this stuff, that's cool now. But when we really start to feel the effects of COVID and everything that's going on, they're going to need to do more drastic measures and more drastic measures and more drastic measures. I mean, imagine a heroin addict, right? Like starts out, shoots up, gets high, but has to keep increasing the dose, has to keep increasing the dose till eventually the heroin addict perishes because they overdose. Well, the government is looking the same way, basically. The fiat system is basically the same way. It works the same way, and it's probably going to do something similar to that. So I would say it's really just a game of musical chairs. Like, who's going to be the one last not getting a chair? Then that chair being Bitcoin. I mean, that's the way I see it. So, realize there's people sitting down right now in the chairs. There's people sitting down and getting Bitcoin is basically what it is. So sit down, get Bitcoin, and don't be the last one. Don't be the one without a chair. So Bitcoin is on a 11,000. It's up to $11,000. Remember yesterday it was like they said, well, there might be some resistance at 10,700. Well, it looks like we're capturing $11,000 right now. The Bollinger Band squeeze is what they call it. Okay, cryptocurrency markets are seeing decent gains on Friday following the announcement Square made the day prior about purchasing 50 million worth of Bitcoin for reserves. During the morning trading session, the overall market capitalization of all 7,000 cryptocurrencies. Oh my gosh, I remember when I got in, there was like 800. 7,000 is up over 2%, hovering at 340 billion. That is a lot of money. Just going to put that out there. But digital currency markets are doing well on October 9th, as a number of top crypto markets have seen 24-hour gains. The positivity increased on Thursday when the publicly listed firm Square told the public it purchased 4,709 Bitcoin. BTC is up 4.4% for the last days, 8.1% over the last days, 30 and 19% for the last 90 days. So we all know, doesn't surprise me, because we know that Square has been extremely bullish on Bitcoin. The CEO, Jack Dorsey, is also the CEO of Twitter, buys like a Bitcoin a week or something. He maxes out how much he can buy on his apps like every day. So that makes complete sense to me. Listen, these companies like Square, they're going to be the future big players. The people who are hoarding this much Bitcoin, they see where it's going. Okay, they see where the money's going. They see where the system is going. Bitcoin is going to be the first world reserve currency. People know that. They're getting in. Do your research, but I would heavily recommend keeping a majority of your portfolio into Bitcoin. Okay, let's look at the chart. Let's get down to the chart. So one thing I noticed about this chart that I really like is that we blew past some previous resistance. And if you put the chart to a 4-hour, let's check out the 4-hour, because the 1 hour, let's check out okay. So the cool thing about this is that we have a bullish candle, right? A green bullish candle above previous resistance. So basically, if a 4-hour chart, if it came up and then it kind of went back down, and then you had a red candle underneath of it, you could conclude that maybe we're still in a bearish trend. But the fact that there was a green candle above this support that it was not able to break the first time, got close, did a pullback, but now we were able to bust through that. That is a bullish indicator for me. That's a bullish indicator, because when you see, it's coming up. I will say the next resistance that it has really is around here, okay, because that was the support, right? I teach the base break system, but the support, it broke the support right here, came up and wasn't able to crack it here, and it's coming up and it looks like it's having a bit trouble right here. So we might see a little pullback, but If we can break this and we see a green confirmation candle outside of this, that is going to look really good. I mean, Bitcoin's looking good now, but if we see a bullish confirmed candle above this, I would say we could get ready for a potential rally. But anyway, that's all I have for today. I will be talking to you all later. Make sure to do your own research and don't be the last one sitting down in the game of musical chairs. Until next time, peace.